Hey everybody, what's up? It's Jay and welcome back. As you can see, we're playing some more Black Ops 3 Zombies today. And speaking of zombies, who else caught the latest episode of The Walking Dead? Season 8 is now out. And to be honest, I thought it was a really good episode. I liked it. The only thing I found was kind of stupid was how, Rick is always going on and on about how he wants to kill Negan, yet he couldn't have had a more perfect opportunity. Honestly, he had like the opportunity of a lifetime to just like take Negan out right then and there, but yet he just he shoots above his head for some reason, and like they miss all of them. There's like 30 people standing down there in their cars, and like they couldn't have had a better opportunity to just take them all out, and yet for some reason they just shoot a load of glass instead. But yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't say it was the best episode ever. I mean, I know it was the 100th episode. And what I did notice was how like they did everything the same as like the first episode. They had the RV, and then they also had the how would you describe it? It's more like, how Carl was walking through the gas station. It was exactly the same how Rick was walking through the gas station in the first episode. And yeah, I liked how they kind of did everything really similar, because it was, obviously the 100th episode. But for the 100th episode, I would say it was a little bit underwhelming. I kind of expected something a bit more, crazy to happen, but it didn't. I mean, obviously, I guess by crazy you could consider Negan's place getting flooded by zombies as kind of crazy. But I mean, I think it's fair to say that we were expecting just a little bit more from the 100th episode. But in total, I'm not going to complain, because it was fun to watch, and I'm really glad it's back. I mean, what is it, 8 months since the season 7 ended? So yeah, it's really nice that Walking Dead's now back on TV. And for those of you who don't watch it, I definitely recommend you get on and start with season 1, because if you're like me, you're not too keen on starting new series, just because you're not really open to try new things. That's fine, because I mean, I'm exactly the same. I was like that with Walking Dead. I was also like that with Stranger Things. And it just so happens that when you do try them, it's often the case that you really like them, as was with me with Walking Dead and Stranger Things. In fact, I enjoyed Stranger Things so much that I ended up watching like the entire first season all in one day. Like literally, I just binge watched the entire thing in just one day. So yeah, it is often the case that you do really like these things. And speaking of Stranger Things Season 2 is also out soon. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but I know Season 2 is coming out, I think either this week or next week. I'm not exactly sure, but it is sometime really soon. So that is something else that I'm definitely going to be catching up on when that comes out. So yeah, like I was saying, if you're not too open to try new things, then definitely definitely try The Walking Dead. If you try one thing, try The Walking Dead, because trust me, once you watch that first episode, you're just gonna be hung up on it. You're just gonna be wanting to binge watch it. And yeah, it's there's like 8 seasons out now, so there's plenty of episodes to watch. So yeah, enough about The Walking Dead. Let's move into Black Ops 3 here. We're gonna moving into the Black Ops 3 Zombies universe. And we're going to be talking about what's next for Black Ops 3 Zombies, because I know we still have another year before Treyarch's next game comes out, and the continuation of the storyline is released. So I thought we'd just take some time to talk about what they could do to bridge the gap, in between what we have now and what we're going to be getting in 2018 when Treyarch makes their next game. So I've come up with some ideas, or I shouldn't take all the credit, because I know I have seen some of these ideas posted around on different forums and on other YouTube videos and stuff. So let's to start with, I think the big thing that everyone wants to come back, or not really come back, but wants to see in Black Ops 3 Zombies is the DLC 6, for lack of a better words. They want to see all the other Zombies maps brought back. Which I think includes Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead were the 2 main ones. Then you also have 5, what other ones were there? There was the Black Ops 2 ones, like Transit, Die Rise, Nuketown, Buried. People want to see, myself included, we all want to see those maps brought back for DLC 6. If there is going to be a DLC 6, we don't know about that yet, but I think the whole reason why those maps weren't included was because they featured different characters. Like, apparently there was something with the voice actors that they couldn't get them back or something for, to remake those maps. But I think the vast majority of people in the Zombies community would really like to see those maps brought back for Black Ops 3. Because, you know, it just kind of rounds everything off, doesn't it? It completes everything. We've already had like half of the maps remastered and brought back into Black Ops 3. So, you know, surely it makes sense to bring the other half back, and so we could have like one game, just one full Zombies game here in Black Ops 3. Because that was the other thing that everyone really wanted. For a long time, everyone really wanted just a standalone Zombies game. You know, with just zombies, no campaign, no multiplayer, just the pure Call of Duty Zombies game. So if Treyarch were able to bring back the other six maps, was it 6 maps? 6 or 7 maps into Black Ops 3, then that kind of would be our standalone Zombies game, would be Black Ops 3 Zombies. So, you know, I think that is one of the big things that everyone wants to see brought back. I know some people have been coming up with names for this 6th DLC pack. You know, me and my friends, we like to say it's going to be called Zombies Chronicles. Zombies Chronicles DLC 6. Hopefully we'll see that coming out at some point. As I said, I'm not going to get my hopes up though, because obviously if this is true, like the rumour that's going around about the voice actors and not being able to get them back, then, you know, obviously there isn't really much we can hope for. But you know, at some point I really do hope that they get around to making those, or at least if Treyarch don't, like, at least I hope that some of the custom mappers will. Because obviously we've already seen Mob of the Dead remastered, we've also seen a portion of Buried remastered in the modding community at the moment. So if Treyarch, you know, for whatever reason, if they really can't get those maps back, then, you know, let's just hope that some of the custom mappers can port them over into Black Ops 3 or do something like that. Because like we saw with Mob of the Dead, they made that Mob of the Dead remaster and it was fantastic, honestly. It blew away all my expectations. So, you know, let's hope they can bring it back, but if not, then let's just leave it down to the custom mappers. Hopefully they can do something to, you know, to get those maps into Black Ops 3. So moving on from DLC 6, let's talk about some other things, because obviously there are other things they can do besides remastering maps. And one of those ideas that I had was actually them making just one more map, you know, not a remastered map, but a brand new map, to just kind of bridge the gap between Revelations and whatever's coming next. And what I mean by map, you know, I don't mean anything massive, like I don't mean anything with a really lengthy and, you know, complex Easter egg or anything like that. I just mean something like a small map, just something small and simple, maybe like Nacht der Untoten or a map kind of like that. You know, just a map that's gonna, you know, tell us what's going on in between Black Ops 3 and, for now, let's just call it Black Ops 4. Because, you know, people wanted that between World War and Black Ops, people wanted that between Black Ops and Black Ops 2, people wanted that between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. And, you know, it never happened, so I think it would be a really good idea for them to release maybe one map, you know, even if it is just a small challenge map with just a, you know, a few sprinkles of storyline info thrown in there to kind of help us understand what happens between Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. You know, I think that would be a great idea, and I think a lot of people would really like it. So, you know, that's an idea that we've always got open to us, is the fact that Treyarch could essentially release a map that kind of bridges the gap between Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. I think a lot of people would be in favour of that, myself included. I'd love that. And yeah, obviously it would help keep zombies fresh. And yeah, so that's that idea. Now, for our next ideas, we've got some, you know, slightly smaller things, because, you know, I do appreciate the fact that, you know, as much as everyone would like another DLC pack, I think the problem is that, you know, it would conflict too much with Activision's next title, which obviously is going to be World War II. So obviously Activision, the last thing they want is their own games competing with each other. You know, they want to be competing with all the other popular games out there. They don't want to be competing with themselves. So obviously a DLC pack could cause, you know, confliction, that's not a word, is it? Conflict, that's what I'm trying to say, in between Activision's, you know, current titles. So, you know, maybe a DLC pack. I know they did release Chronicles, but obviously Infinite Warfare was a bit of a flop, so there wasn't really anything to compete with. But this year, World War II, I think, is expected by most people to be much better than Infinite Warfare. So obviously the competition is going to be a lot stronger if Activision did decide to release a 6th DLC pack for Black Ops 3. So I think we can, for now, let's just put the idea of another DLC pack aside. So let's just put Zombies Chronicles aside. I think another thing they could do is, rather than adding in, you know, one big thing like Zombies Chronicles, they could add in like lots of smaller things. So, you know, lots of small little updates just to keep people playing, you know, just to keep people playing, but not draw too many people away from World War II, because ultimately that's not what Activision wants. Activision wants, you know, as many people playing World War II as they can. So, you know, they don't want to draw too many people away by releasing more zombies content. So if we take the idea that they're going to do a lot of smaller things, like for example, they've already put in the cookbook, which I think is a classic example of a smaller thing. And you know, the other thing was back during the days of Black Ops, they introduced mule kick into all the old maps, you know, just to kind of refresh it a little bit. So we're looking at things like that. Now, I've had a couple of examples. The first one was talked about a lot back during the days of Black Ops, and that was the notion that they should put the moon hacker, the moon hacking tool, into all of the old maps. Now, I don't think that would have the same effect in Black Ops 3, because back during the days of Moon, obviously you didn't have the gobblegums, and you know, the main reason that people used the hacker was to open up all the doors, you know, really cheaply, and without having to spend, you know, nearly as many points. Obviously in Black Ops 3 we do have the gobblegums, and one of the big gobblegums at the moment obviously is shopping free, which kind of just negates the whole purpose of the hacker. And I mean, the other purpose of the hacker was to, you know, trade points with other players, but I mean, again, with the gobblegum machine we've got, what's the one called, the 3 points thing, I can't remember what it's called. It's the thing that came out with Zombies Chronicles, where you know, you activate and it gives you 1250 points. I can't remember what it's called. You know, as soon as I finish this commentary it's going to come to me, but yeah, the other things we could also include are, you know, just things like new achievements, new challenges to get, you know, Divinium and XP and whatnot. You know, just things, like I said, just to keep the game fresh and just to bridge the gap between Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. So yeah, I think that'll be it for today. The gameplay is beginning to wrap up. I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, if you have any ideas, then leave them below, like always. And yeah, so I think I'll just leave it off here. So until next time, everyone, thanks for watching, and peace out.